Hi, my name is Cindy Rang.
And I'm Brianna Motzkus, and we're from the Fabric Patch.
My daughter and I have owned and operated a busy quilt shop in Washington State for over 20 years. We have a retreat center, an active YouTube channel, and a large pattern line featuring our creations. My two sons work on machines. One daughter-in-law is our videographer, and the other is a long-arm quilter. We are a family that love each other, we laugh together, and every once in a while we get some work done. We have a crew that are saints for their efforts at keeping us on track. Thanks for joining us on our wild ride.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So we are out in my sewing studio, out at our house, out at the retreat center, because we're going to show you guys a couple of things. We have some really fun announcements. So it was really nice to do live last week, because doing live, all of those comments and people telling us what they want and what they want to do. And so we have a lot of questions to answer, some classes to talk about, and then a little tour with another announcement that we want to make. So, so that's why we're out here. We're going to still try to keep it to our usual 3 hours.
I was going to say, what's our usual?
I know. She talks so much and talks over me, right?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
We decided who talks over who.
I'm
the mom. So what we get from her is this.
Right?
I want is
This must be my
this.
fault. Okay, Master of Disguise.
I know. That was the best movie when the kids... Master of Disguise, that's what it was. I kept thinking it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nah.
But yeah, Master of Disguise, the cutest little movie back in the 90s. And who was the guy that was the actor in it? But that's what he'd say. What I get from you is this. What I want is this. So that was our... We must have said that
a million times.
every day.
Yeah.
Every day,
Jared
all day
mostly.
long. Jared especially. We used to
Talks a
tell
lot.
Jared he was using up all the oxygen in the car and we were having trouble breathing.
We just start coughing. What's wrong, guys? Stop talking!
It must be a rank. We talk a lot. All right. Okay, let's see. Where should we start? We have all kinds of questions and things. And so it was really kind of nice. So we have lots of prizes that we are sending. But first we had just a couple other just quick ones that we thought we would sort of mention. One thing we wanted to talk about, that was what I was going to get was some batik. We want to talk about batik for just a second. We had a lot. Oh, you don't grab a piece. We have had a lot of questions about batik, and when we were talking about some of the waxy stuff, you don't see that on all of them. In fact, it's extremely rare. And I have to say that I've never seen any kind of a waxy residue on Hoffman or Moda, ever. But there are a couple others that every once in a while, just because of the process, you'll see some of that. We just want people to not worry about it when you get it. We are going to do a batiks class and show, but you can mix your batiks with everything. It's the same quality of gray good. It's the same quality of quilter's cotton. It just feels a little bit different because of the process that it goes through. So we're going to make that a separate class altogether, taking the mystery out of batiks. And do we have the name of the person who I picked that one? Well, dang it. We even stopped for a minute to try to look and see who it was, but we will find you. There is somebody who suggested taking the mystery out of batiks. And a lot of people kind of seconded that. And we agree with that, because so often somebody will come in and they'll look for that perfect blue to go with their fabric, and it's only in batik, and they'll go, oh, no, I can't put that in there. So you can absolutely put that in there. It's fine. So anyway, so we're going to show you that. I just want to show you one other thing about batiks, though, is that people ask all the time, how do you know which side is the right side or the wrong side? Both of us say the same thing, which is...
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Choose the side you like the best. It is true that one side will have more color. That's where they started from, but it is dyed.
Right.
And so all of that dye soaks through. So that's why we like batiks, especially in like Judy Niemeyer, paper piecing, different ones. If you feel like you're going to get a little bit mixed up, you can just flip it over and you're not going to tell the difference. Every once in a while, there is one side that's far more vibrant, but I would say 1 out of 500 pieces that I can actually tell when I look at it. The other thing is that there's this little thing where when you hold onto the corner and you pull it, it will bow to the right. So it bows to the, so as you're holding on to it like this, and you just pull it, maybe I should turn it around, and you can see that it'll bow to the right. So I don't know why. I don't know.
That's the trick.
It's weird, but it works.
It'll go to the right side of the fabric.
You can have a little puppet show. And anyway, so that's the deal, but I would just, because one of the other things, and I didn't write down this person's name either, but I thought it was just really good. She suggested that we have a class about, or include tips about how to not hear the quilt police in your head all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I totally agree with that. And I feel like I say that all the time, that it just doesn't matter. I sew and I quilt because I love it, because it makes me feel good to play with the fabric, to create something. And that's why we talk about a design opportunity.
Yeah.
So when you make a mistake, we don't rip. It's like, okay, now it's going to look like something different. And so anyway, we'll do that also. I think that that's a really fun thing. And we try to talk about that a lot, that, you know, it just doesn't matter and there's no reason to, reason to rip. Press on, and it's all good. So it'll all, and Brianna says all the time, it'll quilt out.
Right, it will.
You can quilt it out. So it just doesn't matter. So, all right. People had questions about these. They said, now what are those and where do you get them? You get them everywhere. I think that we get these in every box of electronics, every shoebox, jackets, all kinds of things. And what they do is they just absorb moisture and or odor, and they're just called a desiccant. And of course you do not eat them. It says it on every single one. And so they look like different things, and I save them. And sometimes when I'm in the shoe store, I will pick them up off the floor.
And they're not the same desiccants that like are in like your beef jerky packet or whatever.
No.
Don't wash those, don't use those, just throw those away.
Yeah.
These are definitely just those smelly odor ones, not food.
Yeah. Not food grade ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't use them in your freeze drying or anything. But anyway, so these are fantastic, and this is what you want to put in your plastic tub. So some of you guys have already watched the video from Monday.
Yes.
So that was kind of fun, and that was, again, lots of questions, and people just kept asking and asking and asking, how much fabric should I buy? How do I know what to buy?
Yeah.
How do I store it? And so that's what we did, is we just sort of put a quick little, I think it's like 20 minutes. I don't think it's very long.
I think it was good.
My usual talk a whole lot. And then coming up tomorrow is 2 bits. Now, this doesn't look like it. She fixed it. We actually, I did that out here.
By yourself?
January. By myself.
Yeah.
I know. Brittany says she can tell because I didn't have anybody to talk to.
Right.
So I was
you'll notice that she's not her normal bubbly self when she's talking to us. Yeah. I don't know if you even had Lizzie that night. Who knows?
It was so long ago. Who knows? But anyway, so what we did is I showed how to do 2 bits.
Right.
But the whole idea is it's how to use those little squares to make anything you want. So little spoiler alert, this is what you'll see tomorrow is I used orphan blocks. And if you don't know what orphan blocks are, they're blocks that you've made, and they may never have a home because you may never finish that quilt. And so you take those little orphan blocks and you put them into something different. So I made this little...
a block that's the wrong size but looks good, but you made it an 8-inch block instead of a 12-inch block, or you made an extra block because, oops, cut too many.
Yeah.
Those are orphan blocks.
All kinds of reasons. Or, So anyway, so kind of fun. So that's coming up tomorrow.
Awesome.
That one is posting. And then, I wanted to mention this,
the
too.
thermal thimbles. Yes.
The picture on our website it shows that it's in a little package, but what happened was last time Brianna ordered them, she got these, which is great. It's the exact same thing, but they come bulk, so that we have to take them out. We put them in a little plastic bag for you, but if you're wondering why it looks like somebody ripped off the top of your bag, it's because they just came like this. So we just wanted to mention that to you, and they come in a packet of 3. And these are the little thermal thimbles, and we featured that in Eliza's little... Right? I think Eliza wears them all the time. I think she likes to wear them.
I think she just likes to wear them.
She wears a lot of them. All the time. So.
And on the wrong fingers.
3 are not enough.
That was so cute.
Right. I always put my 2 fingers.
She had them on like these 3.
Yeah.
It was so cute. It's like, honey, what are you
She's
doing?
adorable.
Yeah.
She's just fun just to watch.
Yeah.
just for fun. Yeah, she's super cute. All right, let's see what else. All right, let me see. I have my glasses. Let's look at. So let's talk about the. Read that one.
Okay, so when we were going through the comments, Beverly Taylor. Brittany's like, check her out.
She is getting a gift. So all of you guys, we have some fun little presents. And so we might either already have your address or from a previous order, or if not, we're going to contact you and see what your address is.
So her comment to your video Monday, the stash video, was need fabric. Need doesn't have anything to do with it. I want it. It brings me joy. If I never make anything with it, I go into the quilting room, rearrange, iron, fold, and follow my fabric, and sigh with pleasure when I leave, satisfied and content.
Yes.
That is my life right now.
Nice. We need to stitch that out in a sample. That's exactly right. So I was saying Beverly Taylor, gift coming to you. That is fantastic.
That's exactly right. Mantra.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's why it's nice just to, tonight I'm going to organize my sewing room. Yeah. And it is as therapeutic as sewing.
I think that's what makes your basket so... Yeah. I don't know if it's successful is the right word, but if you're just having a bad day and you need a moment, I'm going to work in my basket and just close my door. Yeah. The dog's going to leave me alone. The cat's going to leave me alone, and I'll be out when I'm running.
Or cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
I think you always need that little chore. I guess, but it's not really a chore when you're enjoying what you're doing.
Just a little tidying thing. But the other reason that the basket works for me is because I cannot work in chaos.
Yeah.
And so when I have something, I'll put away if it's a project I'm working on, but sometimes just those weird little leftover things and the things you bring home, I just plop them in there and then I know where they are. Oops. Yeah. I'm hitting things back here. So anyway, all right. So present to Beverly Taylor, present whenever we figure out who it was that took the mystery out of batik. Yes, that person. Carolyn Wells. Right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, she was thinking maybe like a color class. And that is funny because that is like Mom's thing. We used to do a color class every quarter.
Every quarter we did it. We did it all the time.
And parts of retreats, we put it in it.
Yeah, because it's just a big, and there's a fun, in fact, we're going to do it in 2 of the retreats.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun little exercise. What we do is we put out all of this fabric. I don't want to give too much away for those of you guys that are coming to retreats, but we put out fabric and we make you put things together. So it's really fun, but we're going to do that because it is it's one of those necessary things. People have a hard time trying to decide what goes with what, and they sometimes get a little matchy, and so when you want something to have a lot of movement or a lot of texture, and we'll talk about that, and all of those things, what's the difference between hue and value and texture and scale? So we'll talk about all of those things, and that one's coming sooner rather than later. And,
that's a good thing to know.
And a little, maybe spoiler alert, what we're going to do is we used to do a newsletter that had all of the classes for the quarter. We haven't been doing that because life has been so uncertain.
Yeah.
And even with the newsletter for the videos that we're putting out, we don't always know, what's going to happen, but we have committed
2 bits.
Yeah. Technical difficulties. Right. And so we are putting out the schedule that will have the scheduled, and it'll change every week as we add more. But the best thing to know is that every Tuesday morning when you get your newsletter, it'll have not only the things happening for that week, but as we've scheduled more classes that are coming up maybe in 3 or 4 weeks or 2 months out, we'll have those on there. We know that those will fill up fairly quickly, so we'll keep adding to those, and the things that fill up within a day, we'll know we need to add more of those. So we have kind of a master schedule and a master calendar that we're working on, and so that's your best way to know. And some of you guys have emailed and said, hey, will you make sure and let me know when the next one is? I've tried to keep kind of a little list of those of you guys that are kind of at the top of the list, but I might not have gotten everybody. So if you're letting me know, or better yet, if you're letting Deb know, we'll get you right up to the top of that list. But anyway, so those are coming out. So the color class is one of them. And then Linda Britt.
Oh, yes.
She was right. And so she was the one who picked paper piecing.
Paper piecing, yeah, which is great. I love paper piecing. It is something like if you guys watched my quilt story, which was number 2?
Long time ago.
Yeah,
October.
It was my Judy Niemeyer one, and I just love it. It's one of those love or hate. It really is. Some of you are going to say, oh my gosh, never again. I gave it to my sister-in-law, or I threw it in the garbage. You never know. But I find that when I was a teeny bopper.
6.
When
you were 6.
I started doing it,
She started doing it when she was 6 because even back then, you wanted it to be right. Yeah. And she knew that her little projects didn't look like everybody else's.
Yeah, I did.
And so she wanted it to be right. And so I would take whatever thing and I would draw it out. Log cabin. She started with a log cabin and she knew her numbers. And so I would draw that out for her and she would sew and she would paper piece her log cabin block.
And it just comes out perfect because all you're doing is sewing on a line.
Sewing right on the line.
You do have a bit of waste in your fabric, but if you have that scrap bucket, I know I used to use Rosanna's scrap bucket. Rosanna was my cat who laid on top of it, so I had to peel off the top layer of hair.
Yeah, it was so gross.
And throw that away.
Yeah.
And then I could rummage through and find, these big old chunks that Mom was like, I don't really know what to do with these, but here's a basket. You can paper piece your heart out.
Cat bed or Brianna's quilt.
So I would get through there and I would just use it, and I really enjoyed it. So I think that's a great idea. And I thought it was also funny. She wants to watch Jordan do yard work.
Yeah.
I think she's looking for a yard boy.
We sort of teased them about that.
I love it.
It was really funny. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, and she might even want to hire him as a yard.
Yeah, right.
Sure, but
either both.
Yeah,
right.
she'll be up in April, so maybe she'll get to see it firsthand.
Yeah,
so
some raking. And
yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, and the thing with paper piecing too is that a lot of it, I feel like paper piecing is one of those things that you're not going to be able to do if you're reading the pattern.
Right.
Or
it does not make
the
sense.
book. You just aren't. It's like reading how to play baseball. Well, maybe.
Right.
But you have to have somebody really show you and stand there with you. So it really is a class.
I feel that like with Judy Niemeyer stuff. If you look at those patterns, like, oh my gosh, I love this. I find that I do not understand her words. When she tells you, oh, do this, this, and this, and this, it's like, oh, I get lost in those. I don't understand. But I think I've done 4. So I understand the organizing my pieces, cutting my pieces, getting them all sewn together. So yeah, it is something that I think it'd be a really great class. Even just a quick
really good
tutorial so you can see how it's done.
Because we could do both. We could do it as a YouTube video first, just for people, a little tutorial. Yeah, and some downloadable things. And then we can also do it as a class so that we can walk you through it.
It's cool.
And it's a good thing to know how to do.
Perfect points every time it comes out. You can do those funky things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's a great idea.
So too. Let's see, these are some other things that I added. Oh, Donna Deckart. Woo,
she wanted our left-handed scissors.
And how often they're Fisker scissors, so they're nice ones. We have right-handed ones and we have left-handed ones, and we'll pick those up, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, my hand.
Yeah.
So anyway, Donna, those are on their way to you. So thank you for taking those off your hands, off our hands. And then another question that I just wanted to answer while we were standing here is several people said, "Gosh, you have all that pretty fabric on your shelves. Don't you worry about sun fade?" I meant to mention this in the video. Totally forgot. 2 things. One thing is absolutely, you have to be very careful about sun. There is a window behind here. You wouldn't know it because we've blocked off the window and then we put the design wall and the ruler wall up here. So there is no natural light that comes in. Across from me are double doors, so when I'm sitting and sewing, I can see out to the lake, but it doesn't actually make its way back in here. And I'm careful about the lights that I have. But the other thing is that fabric does come with a little bit of starch on it, but it also comes with a stain guard and a sun guard. That's part of it. So that doesn't mean that you can leave it on your kitchen counter in a sunny window for a month and not think that there's going to be some issues. But as a general rule, it's going to protect it a little bit. It's kind of similar to carpeting and furniture when you get those, and they're going to be fine to kind of repel, kid stuff until you first shampoo it. So same thing. And so that's why, I bet this is what you're going to say, that's why I don't pre-wash my fabric. I haven't for a very, very, very long time. I think the last time I did was probably 15 years ago.
My excuse is I hate laundry.
I know.
Why watch the pretty stuff?
I know. And the last time I did it, I think it took me like 6 hours to wash, dry, press, put the starch back in. It's like, I could be done with this quilt by now. So that's why I don't. The only thing that you really have to worry about occasionally is red dye. Red dye, the problem is the molecule is a little bit bigger. So if something is going to rest on the outside of the fabric a little bit more, it'll be red. And so when I make a quilt, if I'm going to give it to somebody and I don't know if they know how to wash it, I will launder it first after it's all done. Right. After it's all done, and you can either use Retain, which has been difficult to get now.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they're repackaging. Like, nobody carries it right now. It came in a little tiny 4-ounce bottle you just put in your wash.
Yeah, but you can use Shout color catchers. They work great.
Looks like a dryer sheet.
Yeah, it looks like a dryer sheet. It is not the same thing. That's just what it looks like. Just throw it in your washer, and what'll happen is because what happens is that red dye is probably going to come off anyway. It's going to come off, but what has to happen is it changes the chemical property of it so that it does not redeposit and stick somewhere else. So then what'll happen is your water might be red or pink, but your quilt will not be. So
and
you
that
throw that
color
in there.
catcher is going to absorb the color.
Yeah.
So you're most likely going to get a pink color catcher.
Yeah.
And I just throw it in the dryer when I don't look to fish it out. I just...
No. And it does work really, really well. So it's, not a problem.
So my question is only because I've had this answered in the shop, and I don't know if I answered it right, but so I don't have one, but like a guest room. If you have a beautiful quilt on your guest bedroom that's right next to a window, should you have those blinds kind of drawn so you only get glimpses of light, or changed out?
Well, I'll tell you, it's funny that you've never noticed this before.
I have a guest room, so...
Up at the cabin.
Oh, sure.
I have, up at our cabin, we have up in the loft, there's these great big humongous windows. In fact, it's like windshield glass windows or something. Great big huge windows, and there's 2 twin beds there, and there's one quilt. Now that quilt has been on that bed for probably, what do you think, 4 years?
Yeah, since we moved it up
4
there.
years. There has never been a blind on that window, and it is it is an east facing window. And I noticed, because that was why I took that quilt off of that bed. Because I finally noticed it has just the slightest little bit of sun damage to it. And so on one side, the corner that really faces the window, it's just a little bit lighter. And it's like purples with the orange mustards. It's a bunch of colors in it, and I can tell that one corner is lighter than the other corner that hangs off the other side of the bed.
So it does take some time.
It takes some time, but I think that it will. A lot of it depends on how much sun is coming through, but yeah, I think eventually. So, just rotate the quilts out a little bit. But if you're putting a quilt on a bed, and if you leave it on there for, I would say even a year, that is absolutely direct sunlight up there.
Right.
And it took.
So I guess if you have your blind drawn, or if you have those really pretty just shades that still let sunlight in, direct sunlight, I guess. It's just like sun, I guess, would swim as our sunscreen. Direct light on our naked skin is different from sunscreen skin. I get that. Yeah. Or shaded.
Yeah, that was a good comment.
Because I figured someone was going to ask that.
Yeah. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, Benny Blue. I can never think of what Benny Blue's... I feel like as soon as I hear it, I know what it is. But Benny Blue is her little handle. I think she was the one that... Didn't we send her an apron?
Maybe.
I don't know. Benny Blue. Anyway. She wanted to do a purse class.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That was the other one. Is a purse class, and we've been talking about that. We've been talking about that even before.
Right.
Was a purse class, and have even some kits, ready to go. Have something that's purse for beginners, purse for the advanced. Different types of bags for different things. We have a lot of bags, even a lot of our own personal patterns. That quest for the perfect purse
never ends.
Yeah, wallet, purse, whatever. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter. And I think it's because there isn't one perfect purse. When you're on vacation, it's very different.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah, than when you're shopping or you're doing something different or styling. It's a little different. Okay, I think. I think that. Did you have anything else to add in here?
I think that was it.
Okay, so let's see. Our first special announcement was the schedule.
Oh, yes.
Second teaser was some of the classes that were going to be on there. So our third thing is we're going to go out and we're going to show you one other fun little thing that we've just added.
Yes.
Okay, so we have come out to Unit 4. So we did kind of a brief tour of the event center and the condos, gosh, a couple months ago. And we're going to do a real thorough one here pretty soon. But we know that when we do that, it's really going to be probably 2 parts because we've got the event center, we've got 4 condos, and we have 3 bungalows. And we're going to take you through all of them. But this is a little bit different because what happened is when we added the condos and added everything, it's because we thought that it would be nice to make sure that we had enough beds because the event center would really hold easily 20 to 24 quilters. And so we added enough space that we have, we have 16 twin beds, we have 2 full beds, and we have 3 queen size beds. But what happened, and I think we've mentioned this before, is it's the same people. Yeah. We only book 1 year out in advance. And so the same people that were here last week and they book for the same time next year. So the same 8 quilters or 10 quilters or at the very most 16 quilters, it's those same ones that come back year after year after year. So because of that, this poor little lonely
does not get used.
Never gets used. And so people have tried to, people keep asking, well, why don't you just put it on Airbnb? Why don't you just put it on Airbnb?
We're picky, you guys.
We don't want to. We like our people. And so we haven't wanted to do that. And so, but what we think we'll do is, new announcement. Yeah. So many people all the time say, I can't wait to come see you. I can't wait for a road trip coming up from California, coming over from Idaho, coming, as far away as there's a couple that are going to come up from New Orleans. Yeah. And so we thought, well, gosh, why not just say, well, here's the local Best Western, which we do have. We have a really nice local Best Western. We have a couple different spots, but we thought this is not going to be on Airbnb. You have to book it through us, but come and stay with us. Yeah. So we're going to show you, we have 2 different spots that rarely get used. Yep. So this is Unit 4, and then we do have one of the historic bungalows, and so we'll show you both of those. We're just going to give you kind of a quick tour. So, and this one is kind of nice because when we will be using this is for our retreats, when we have married couples who come, this is the one because this one, it actually also faces a little bit different. It faces First Avenue, and we'll show you that when we do the full tour.
Because we have a mother-daughter coming, but mom's bringing her, dad, and then she's bringing her husband with her. So they can have the own little family condo themselves. Space. The guys can do whatever they want during the day, and they can come and hang out.
Yeah. So. We have, and so if you come to stay here too, and for our retreat, it's different also. Right. But we have kayaks, we have a paddleboard, we are directly across the street from the lake. We have fishing poles, not at Soap Lake, but farther north. And then also we can do some evening shopping at the shop, and then you can come over and our house is right next door, and we'll just have we'll have dinner together. But anyway, so it'll be really nice. But anyway, so we'll show you. So it does have, if this seems familiar, all of the condos look exactly the same. And so it does have a refrigerator, an ice maker, and motion lights. Did that light just come on when I walked in? And so there is a microwave oven. There's dishes in here, pots and pans, so you can prepare something if you'd like to do that. We do have smart TVs in all of the rooms. So when you turn it on, it's a Roku. And so there's free TV on there, or if you have your own Netflix or Hulu or whatever account, you can watch on there, and that's great. And then all of them are the same. Let's see. In terms of the floor plans are all the same. What's different about Unit 4 is we have queen beds in here. So there's queen bed, and then this is Navajo Rose quilt, of course. We probably recognize that. And then this one has an attached bathroom. And so same thing. So there's a 3-piece bathroom in here. So, 4-piece. So there's a shower tub. And then this one behind the door here, there is I don't know if you can see there's a stackable washer and dryer. And those are in all of the units. So again, all of the units are the same. What's different is the decor is a little different. And then again, for these, it's the queen size beds. And then this one over here is the other queen size bed. And then it has a detached bathroom. So there's a bathroom here. And this bathroom is basically the same, except no stackable washer and dryer and no tub in here. This one just has a shower around the corner. And then what we do, because like if you're here with a friend or whatever, that's why we have 2 different sets of towels, 2 different colors of towels in all of the bathrooms. Because if I know that Brianna gets the black towels and I get the white towels. Yeah. So whatever you dry up and do, you do it on with your own towel. Yeah. So, yeah. And let's see, and I think that's it. So, and what we do is we rent them. For it's $175 a night. We do a 2-night minimum, and it'll come with dinner at our house.
And you'll, of course, if you come to stay with us, you don't have to room with a stranger. You know, you will get this whole unit to yourself. So we should travel with friends. They'll have their own place. But if it's just you and your husband, you will not have a roomie.
Oh, so right.
I want you to think that, this is the whole house rent.
You might be able to meet other retreaters if they're here and you want to do that, but otherwise, you are, the whole focus of this is, it even faces a different street than the others.
It's kind of isolated, actually.
It's pretty isolated, and so you really can do your own thing, and the other retreaters won't even know that you're here.
Right.
And you won't need to know that they're here if you don't want to. So you're not with somebody else. The whole reason for us wanting to open this up is because it just seldom gets used.
Right. It really does.
What happens is the groups that come, we have 21 beds and we seldom have more than 16 retreaters. And so that's why we're able to open this up. So we just want to say we want you to come visit us and we have a spot for you. And then we also have, and this is kind of nice because this is good for, 4 people. Easily. But we also have a bungalow, and the bungalow is so cute. So Linda Britt, this is where Linda is staying when she comes. So we'll show you the bungalow next. Okay. This is my favorite. Bungalow.
Yeah, it's just happy.
It's just happy, and I think the other thing too is it's just the aesthetic of it. I love the whole gardening thing. So while I'm talking, we'll have Brittany kind of pan around a little bit. So a couple things about it is the bungalows were built back in 1906 because Soap Lake used to be a tourist destination because of the healing waters. And so what happened then was in 1930, some of the bungalows got plumbing. And then it went through a little bit of a remodel in the 80s, and then we did just a little bit more. We didn't do a whole lot in this particular one, but I think the reason that I like this one again, we had to shut the sunny window because of filming, but I am a gardening buff, and so I just like the flowers. I like the gardening. I just like all of it. I think it's just nice and quiet back here. The only person who ever uses this is when we have fabric reps who come. They'll come and stay out here. And then our friend Linda is going to come up from Texas to visit us. And so she's going to get to stay here. But you have to check out the bathroom, because what's really cool about the bathroom, I'm going to come in and shut this door for a second. This is a 24-inch doorway. And so this was back in the days before they had those sorts of what's it called? Building codes. Yeah. And so just a tiny, tiny little door. And then the other really cute thing is that, again, this was a luxury back in the 1930s when there was indoor plumbing, but this is the tiniest little, shortest little sink ever. And so again, we could have, done some remodels and changed it out, but I think it's just adorable. So I really like it. I like everything about this little garden bungalow, and we call it the Hideaway bungalow. It does have a separate door, and we do this one for $100 a night. And it's just, does have a same thing, a Roku television, a small little kitchen. There's a refrigerator, freezer, and microwave, and a cooktop. There is no oven. And then there's a tiny little table, and there's also a private little deck, a private little patio, that works really well. This is also the one that if somebody comes to one of our retreats with a service dog, then this is where we put them, because there's kind of a little yard out here, little fenced yard, and so it backs towards our backyard, and so it's nice and private. So very, very private back here. And again, this is the same thing. This one never gets used, never. It's just super, super rare.
And I think why it doesn't is just because it has its own entrance. So you have to walk the sidewalk home.
You have to walk all the way back and around, because we took the cut through. Yeah, because the cut through is now our backyard. And so that's why we call this one the Hideaway Bungalow.
It's so nice.
It's quiet. Yeah, it's pleasant. Yeah, it's
you do have street parking, so you do have right to your front door. So it's nice. It's super nice.
Yeah. So if you're staying as a guest of mine, then you'll stay here because you just come right into our backyard, and you're attached to the house. But yeah, so same thing. If you decide to come up and stay, and there's just one, or you and a girlfriend or whatever, this might be plenty big for you guys if you don't mind a queen bed. And $100. Oh, and that was the other thing I was going to say is that, again, same thing. The other retreaters who might be here the same weekend that you're here, you don't need to know that they're here, and they don't need to know that you're here, unless you want some new friends. We don't have any retreating groups that wouldn't welcome new friends from somewhere.
Oh yeah, I think quilters. They're whole breeding.
And if you want to come and do that, we'll just hook you up, and we've got a social for you. So we could really make it a fun thing.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It would be good. So. Anyway, let's see. So that was the other tour. What else? I feel like did we talk fast? I think we did.
Oh, right?
Anything else?
Hey, we want to be under 2 hours. I think it'll be fun. I think there's a lot of people who call and email like, oh my gosh, we're coming. Where should we stay? And it's like, we should let them know that, we have accommodations for, a few couples. Yeah. So, but otherwise there is Best Western. There's other places. There's other things. You can stay. If you find that these aren't quite what you're looking for, we don't care.
Yeah, we just want to let you know that we would welcome you to come and hang out with us.
And by the time you come, she should be moved. You could actually have
I'll be here. I'm going to be here. We're going to be moved.
She wants a bathtub back.
Yeah.
That little rinky-dink bathtub in the spare bathroom is not big enough.
Back. Yeah. Well, and what's happening is spring is coming.
Oh, you don't want to do
we have massive yard work. And so, either Paul will be at one house still doing something, and I'll be out here doing yard work, or we'll both be here together. But one or the other. So anyway. Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, as always, it's just so much fun to kind of check in with you guys, and good to fill you in on everything new. So so watch for the newsletter. So we'll have all of those classes, and they'll be posted next Tuesday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for watching our video. We invite you to leave a comment, hit the like button, or better yet, subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. You can also visit our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or Pinterest pages, or find all of those things and our online store at fabricpatch.net.